Alright everyone, welcome back to RCH Builders. So, was meaning to going to get a video of this before they started pouring the concrete this morning, but the concrete trucks actually showed up super early, which, they were supposed to be here around 11, and then somehow they got changed to 8, and then 6 o'clock in the morning. So they're here real early. But so of course we smoothed out all of the dirt, the huge piles, buried all of those plumbing pipes that you would have seen earlier, and then we actually had to take out about almost 2 inches of dirt out of from pretty much here back, where it was just it was high in there. Wouldn't necessarily notice it because it slowly went up. And then but with the transit, where you can tell with that. But down in the footer, we've got, these are about 6 inches apart, sitting on little chairs to keep it up off the ground for the footers. These footers, these ones, they are about 12 inches wide at the bottom, and they're about 12 inches tall. And then there's the 4-inch slab for the actual concrete. That's what we've got going on here. So, and they're spaced about 18 inches apart here. And that's basically the footer, just wraps all the way around. Everywhere where there is a seam, it is overlapped 18 inches. There's actually one right here. And then we have our mesh, which we bent and tied to the footer, so it comes up and then bends out across. And that's what we've got going all the way through there. The other thing that we have, and I'm gonna wait for the concrete truck to slow down a little bit before I continue. All right, so the concrete truck stopped mixing for now, so I'm not sure if it affected y'all being able to hear or not. It was making it so I could hardly hear myself talk. So I know sometimes on the camera it's louder, sometimes you don't even really hear it through the camera, because the background part of the camera cuts out some of that sound. But the other thing we've done is, so out here is where there's going to be a patio basically, and that patio is going to be a 1/2 inch lower. The concrete out here will be a 1/2 inch lower at the starting point than in there, and as it comes down through here, it'll drop at like a 1/4 inch per foot for water drainage purposes. But so we want to do this after this is poured and set, so that we can then form it up lower. But what we did is, these are 18-inch dowels. It's the same rebar. They're 1/2 inch, and we set them to where they are 9 inches from the back side of here inside, so that'll lock into the concrete real well. And then when we remove these forms, we used this is basically a PEX, like plumbing PEX. It's for that to slide through and protect it, grommet it through like metal studs or wood, whatever. But we used it because it's the closest thing for sizing this, to try and help hold this in straight, and hopefully when we take that off, it'll help these be able to slide off easily. So we got a bigger hole, and then we also, on the back side, we put great stuff in there to help basically keep the concrete from filling up inside of the wood, so that we can take these forms off nice and easy. So that's another thing that we had done. They're braced basically about every 4.5 feet roughly down through there. And on this one, because this building has a roof on top of it, then what we did on this is they are actually, and we had to form it up fully all the way around with a full footer, so there's no way to come in with like a buggy. And plus just the whole distance and a lot more hills here makes it harder with the buggy. So they're actually using a hand pump, which just goes over, and it's just a small little pump that goes down. Basically it just dumps it in there and then goes from there. So the other that we have, so like I said, this is all to help tie in that slab. It's going to go all the way around these that side, this side here, and then one more. Just over here. What this will be, so all of this here, this area here, from here to over there, all of that is going to be a 1/2 inch lower than the slab inside, but it'll be flat. This is going to have a separate roof over the top of it for like an awning going in for an entrance. So like a big grand entrance for, or whatever. So on here for the columns for the entrance, we got a 2.5 foot. So this is, each one of these, there's one at each corner there. So for these, we have an actual footer out here. We don't need a footer out there for the patio because it's not supporting a roof at all. But for this, these lines here, they go in and they actually fully tie into the rebar underneath. You can see here where it goes in. And then it comes out and follows around. This is, it's 12 inches tall, and I don't have it formed up for the slab because again, we want to be it's going to be lower than this point. But what we do have is it's high enough for the footer if they need to. We're not planning on filling this 100%, but if they have extra concrete on the truck, instead of just wasting it, we're going to dump it in here. And what we'll do at that point is this board here, this piece here, is separate from all the other blocks around, so that we can remove this and let the concrete flow in, and it'll tie all this in. And then we went ahead and did our mesh that goes down and up, so that wherever that concrete stops, it's already tied to this. So that's one of the things that we did with that. Again, this is all, it's not planned with this pour to have to be done, but we will use all the concrete that we have instead of having any extra left over. And those dowels, they're kind of angled like this, but as they come across with the concrete, what we'll do is I'll just step on those and that'll pick up the other side, and once the concrete is there, it'll stay straight. So, and even if it is coming up at an angle, after the concrete dries, I can step on it and bend it down, and that works perfectly fine. It's still anchored into the building 8, 6, 9 inches, and will be out here 9 inches. So it doesn't have to be straight, it can be bent. I mean, we bend this stuff for all kinds of purposes, so it doesn't hurt anything. It just, I would like it to come out straight. It doesn't have to. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'll just step on it to try and make that happen. But I think as far as this goes, I'm not really trying to video the actual process of this concrete too much, because there's a lot to do with it, and also these guys haven't decided that they really want to be on video. The one that was over by the pump, he didn't really care. The other ones, like I said, I'm just not showing. Do you see their feet, their legs, but that's it. No identification there. So with that being the case, like I said, I'm not going to video too much of this. Hopefully we'll video a lot more of the rest. Starting now, I think, hopefully once this concrete's poured, I can video and maybe do an actual tutorial on how exactly the transit works, because we're going to need to use that to get the whole next section slab patio ready. Because we'll actually have to do, it'll all be a 1/2 inch down at the starting point, and then over a 12-foot span at a 1/4 inch per foot, that's going to be 3 inches that lower that the far side will be. So we'll definitely need the transit. Based off of the ground level, I think we're going to have to take out about 6 inches on one side of the, close to 6 inches on one side, the starting side where I started videoing over there. But this far side over here, where the awning will be and everything, I think on that side we're going to have to add close to 10 or 12 inches of dirt over there to be at the right height. So we're going to just have to move a lot of dirt around, do a lot of work with the transit. Probably try to video at least some of that. Just with the start of this project, at the end of the other one, we're kind of having to really push stuff, and that's hard to video. when you're really pushing things. So hope y'all enjoyed watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you the next time.